as Tony would say.
I've never once said that, Jack.
I don't know.
I have been off my chops though.
Right, hello, and tonight you are listening to Let's Drone Out for another fantastic episode, and we have Frank.
Good evening.
Andy RC.
What was the big sigh?
Not to be like twice, Andy RC.
Why was the big sigh before you mentioned my
Because I was going to sing it, but then I thought I better not.
Okay, good evening, everybody. Thanks for tuning in.
I've got to stop singing your name. Painless 360.
Hey, good evening.
No camera.
No camera, incognito. We're nearly at the 100K.
Face reveal here.
Anyways, we've also got Tony.
What's up? Bonjour, I should say.
And of course, everyone's curry, no space kitten.
That's it.
Yeah.
Hello.
And I'm Jack, Brighton Till I Fly. And tonight we are going to talk to you about Weston Park.
Oh, I'll just go then.
I thought we were talking about depression with Tony. We're not allowed to say that.
We're definitely not. I refuse to be on the podcast with Tony talking about depression.
But Tony, you can ask us all about Weston Park, and you can like.
Okay, I'll be
do
the
the voice.
asking one.
Yeah,
Well,
Curry Kitten wasn't there either.
The whole depression thing is because I saw a post on Faceballs and it.
And you
it's
thought,
No, it was in Race Rotor Riot, I think, and it had so many comments. I was just like, this could be a good topic. But because Jack's got it, he don't want to do it. There you go.
no, I'm happy to do it. I just thought, right, let's stop arguing. Anyway, Weston Park.
People like that.
Yeah.
Right, go on. How was Weston Park, guys?
Yeah, tell
I'm
us
gutted
about
I didn't
Weston
go.
Park. Apart from the Titanic music.
Yeah, Jack should explain the title. Let's because this episode has a weird title. Jack, why does it have a weird? What does Aldio will go on or whatever you've put? Mean?
It's because they play when they do the nighttime fireworks with the gliders. I don't know. Are they actually gliders? Because they said they had engines.
They were
They're mostly
powered
gliders,
powered
yeah.
gliders, but really when they're doing the aerobatics, there's not enough power for them to really climb. So they're basically gliders when they're doing the aerobatics.
I think they said they had something like 75cc engine in there or something.
Yeah,
Like,
just enough to sort of get them in the air. But actually, if you remember, they took off like half an hour before the actual like display, didn't they? And then all of a sudden they appeared from really high up. But
Well, are these real gliders or RC?
yeah.
this is the thing about Weston Park is that, I mean, you know, when I just look back on it, I think, wow, what a show they put on. Like, it really is like there's no gaps. There's something amazing going on all the time, and the crowd that they managed to pull, thousands and thousands. It's really impressive, and it's like, I mean, it's been going for years, but this is the best it's ever been. I mean, there were more people there for the fireworks than there were in the daytime.
Oh man, I love fireworks. I've never been to Weston. I'm going next year.
Yeah,
Painless missed it as well because he went home early.
What happened to Painless? Was he not feeling the day?
No, I was just there with my mate. We normally just go for one day, and we had to kind of get away mid-afternoon. So it was a really fun time. That was my second year at Weston. The first time, if there's a loud banging noise and then I suddenly stop talking, then just call the paramedics. At the moment, I've got my fingers in the middle of a Fat Shark battery trying to recover it. The whole thing about the Weston, the first time I ever went, because I think it was you, Andy, wasn't it? We were talking about it.
actually, the reason why me and you went was to meet for the first time, wasn't it?
I think it was, yeah, because despite living 20 minutes away, we're really crap at actually getting together and going to the pub. So we decided to travel 1.5 hours down the motorway. But it was great. I mean, it's an amazing show, and this year was even better because my mate, who's never been with me, a guy called Ross, he had exactly the same reaction as we pulled up to go in, where you just look over these fields full of campers and RC and tens of thousands of hobbyists all milling about, and he just had this big stupid grin on his face. And I think that's probably exactly how I looked last year. So I need to say a big thank you to Andy for getting me to go, because I think I'm never going to miss one now.
Yeah, it's a pretty awesome show. And something that I thought was interesting is like I thought both days would be the same, but they actually get different people on like the Saturday and the Sunday, so different scale aircraft and stuff. So I'd never been both days before. Well, not recently, anyways. And I'd never stayed for the fireworks, and that it is something spectacular that they put on. It must cost a fortune for the pyro stuff that they have going on all day. It's it's definitely a highlight of the year, I think.
I must thank Andy RC, because he paid me to get in on the Sunday, and I must admit, if you think the fireworks on the Saturday are good,
Yeah,
Sunday in broad daylight, where I can only, it was like Northern Ireland back in the day. It's like petrol bombs. Sorry to crack that joke, because that was horrific.
I think Andy said it's like on the Sunday they're like, so they have like pyro sort of in reserve, and then the Sunday they're like, right, we need to get rid of it all.
Yeah.
And get rid of it all in one go.
Yeah.
I think Jack summed up when he said there was like a line of about 5 explosions that went off, and you could feel the heat instantly.
Yeah, on your face.
On your face, you know.
From a good 50 meters away.
Yeah, it's a cracking show.
Ash is in the chat and says, "Hi guys, unfortunately cutting down trees in the garden tonight whilst the weather is sunny, so I can't stay, but have a great show. Hi Painless too. Was generally lovely to meet you at MA4." That's from Ash droning on saying hi.
Thanks, Ash. Nice to meet you too, mate. I'll tell you what, that MA4, I know we're talking about the other show, but that's turned out to be one of the most expensive shows I've ever been to, just because everything I saw, I kept going, oh, that's really good, I need one. So now I've got a mini drac downstairs that needs building that I didn't realize didn't come with servos, motors, ESCs. So that's 150 quid in, and I've only got the frame. And I've also, do you remember that evening, Jack, where somebody had a little AMAX Baby Hawk and was flying it around?
Yeah, that's called Richard.
Was that Richard?
Yeah.
Well, I've also bought one of them. So yeah. So going to that show's cost me a bloody fortune.
So someone else.
Was that the mini drac that was flying? Because when I saw the wing races, I thought that was a full sized one. Or was that a mini? Because it was
Chris had both. So no, I just fancy the mini one, because I didn't want the full size one. I'm so glad I did, because I've got about another 200 quid to spend to get all the bits.
You've got problems, a lot of you. Like I wouldn't mind, but like Frank like made out like a bounty like of different things from you. I was scared there was going to be no room in the car for me. It was like,
well, I did leave you there last year, so you know.
Yeah, I know.
Form.
Ed Bruce Ratcliffe says, "Tell Painless the video is on its way."
So that's
yes, fab. Okay, thank you, Ed. That's awesome.
Got it. Cool.
Sorry, I've got the link for the chat now, so I'll start reading my own messages. Sorry, everybody, just acting like
that's kind of what Tony's for. He really likes like interacting with the chat and like.
I do. I think people like their names shouted out. I mean, I've got to give a big shout out to Mikey Dread. He is the man. Every time I put a post out saying, "Oh, has anyone got this for sale? I need this desperately," the guy just sends me it next day and doesn't even want any money. I love that man. Mikey Dread, I love you. He just sent me a load of KISS stuff that I needed, ESCs, everything. I love him.
I think we should
met him. So now it's definitely love.
I think we should point out as well, Jack, the number of Let's Drone Out viewers that showed their gratification to like us both walking around was just, yeah. He won't admit it, but Jack shed, is that the right? Shedded a tear. Like a guy came up and was just like,
no,
I'm not like.
I've never seen him cry, even when he's on the toilet.
I've
honestly, this
all
guy.
kinds of things about our friendship, Tony.
But it was awesome to like speak to so many people who are fans of the show and YouTube and stuff.
Oh, that's great.
I just thought we were tossers, really, but some people like really enjoy it, and it helps them for whatever reason. I don't know whether it makes them feel better about themselves that they're neither Jack nor Tony. They're not Jack stuck with Tony. I think that would be quite a good thing to. I remember having a life without Tony.
How was it? Boring.
It was great. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tony, you need a new hobby.
So what else was at Western? Apart from the displays, and there's obviously quad racing, was it a big retail thing? Did you go around blowing all the money on?
I've spent a lot of money.
What did you buy?
Oh
Well-
man, what didn't he buy?
Hold it up.
I'll tell you what I didn't
Show
buy.
and tell.
I didn't buy anything that I could use to plug these XT30 batteries into any battery charger.
Oh no.
So I've got these XT.
Well, put it this way, Wayne. The entire flight line is a shop. The entire, you're talking 300 meters of non-stop stalls of shops. It's like nothing you've ever seen. And yeah, and not just that as well. They make sure that the shops are dotted around the entire place. And we were just walking randomly, and Tattoo were there all of a sudden. Like, you know.
Oh man, I'm so sorry about the way I acted.
Oh yeah.
No, you're not.
Jack
No,
was trying
really.
to.
You're
Jack-
not, are you? No.
Jack was trying to hustle me some tattoo sponsorship, but you know, yeah.
Oh, right. Okay, that really confused me. I thought we were talking about those two girls that the whole thing was they used to kiss on stage about 10 years ago. They had about 10
Yeah, they're
singles.
dressed up like schoolgirls.
That was it. We're not talking about them, right?
No,
No.
no.
Okay.
I think Tony
Well.
broke a masturbation record with them two.
You're lucky. I'm going to come back with something in a minute, Jack.
Interesting story. Those pair fell out with each other, and they don't talk to each other anymore.
Oh, just like me and fucking.
It's gone full circle.
Yes.
Oh god, I'm gonna have to start singing everything Tony said or something like that. A little Twitch rendition tonight.
Actually, the guy from Tattoo gave me his card, but I'm too embarrassed to call it because I'm like, you remember that guy that was just in your face and telling and just like telling you how many subscribers Andy RC has got? 'Cause
Yeah.
that's what you did basically. You were like,
Yeah.
do you know who this is?
Do you know who this man is?
Yeah. Well, that wasn't the worst part. It was the bit where I threatened to burn them.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
He said either sponsor him or we'll burn down the tent or something. He said.
It sounds like Jack.
Yeah.
Oh, good way to get a sponsor with.
Funnily enough, I've not heard of them.
But you didn't give them your contact details.
No, he did give me a card.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Emailed them. At least email them and apologise for my behaviour.
Yeah.
But it's ridiculous. You use their batteries all the time. They're in every one of your videos. Do you know what I mean? They owe you a serious paycheck,
Nah.
and
they
their
don't.
asses need cashing out. That's
Nah.
what I say.
No, they're good batteries. That's why I use them, and it was cool to see them there. And yeah, so there's loads of stuff that was going on. We never actually got to see the Halley line. So the FPV line, I think they actually made a good choice because last year the FPV line was miles away from the main flight line. This time it was much closer. So I think it got a lot more interaction with the public, which was good. They had the RC cars there with a track. Me and Andy went and watched that. They had the boats, so they've got like a little lake.
I've got to see the boats.
It wasn't.
We had a look. There was one boat, and it wasn't.
Put it this way: there was one boat, and it was a lifeboat, and it was ironic because there was
no life.
Yeah.
Oh.
but even so, I think it's amazing. It's 2.4 that allows all of this, you know, and because it wouldn't have been possible when it was 35 megahertz and all that business. So
should we all get into boats and like try and blow each other up?
I'm getting into hovercrafts. Drone Junkie has sent me their Hoover kit. Is that what it's called?
Ah, yeah, that's good. We like Gem.
Yeah, so I'm gonna have. Is it drone? Phil?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Drone Junkie Gem.
Yeah. So I'm gonna do one of those. Yeah, just loads of stuff. I like the scale stuff that's there as well. And I think Gary won the racing, didn't he? I believe I saw a
Almost
post.
certainly.
That is
Yeah,
not
there was a Facebook
a
post.
surprise, is it? Really? Come on.
Man.
If there's anyone to put your money on,
Yeah.
it's him.
And Win followed us along as well, didn't he? Hung out. It was awesome to hang out with Win from the castle when we went to the
Yeah.
castle. He
Yeah.
came down. He came down on the Saturday.
Oh,
I
that's
think
fine.
I've seen him in the chat already.
I think Winnie's in chat.
Somewhere.
There's quite a lot of people in the chat today.
Yeah, I
Oh,
love
and Jack, we haven't talked about this, but Tom Stanton was there. So he's got a huge YouTube channel where like he's an aerospace engineer, and so he had his electric bike there, and there was a chap with a petrol boosted board style thing.
No, hang on. Don't say petrol. You know you're old school from the past.
It's petrol.
IC, internal combustion. Is that right?
Yeah. But it was actually a petrol engine, I'm
It
sure.
wasn't nitro, was it? It definitely looked like a petrol one to me.
Yeah. It was.
Oh man, and I can't believe like he was like so brave to get like it was literally a death trap, honestly. I've got a friend who's got one who's very good at skateboarding, and he's scared to get on it. And Jack, yeah, he did it, man.
It was like literally. It was. There's not much difference between that and a petrol-driven guillotine. Really.
Were you like England's Casey Neistat?
Nice twat, really.
Yeah, that's more like it.
Shitting myself and being like, I'm already like, if I can't stay out of the hospital enough, I'll get on this death board that delivers me to the hospital.
You know what? As well, we were all really bad friends because Jack was like, "Should I have a go of this?" And all of us went, "Yes," but every one of us inside were like, "This is gonna die."
You're very on fire.
Yeah.
So,
I'm hopefully seeing Andy Sunday. Are you still going? Are you going to come down and meet me at the Towers?
Yeah, man. Yeah, if you're still up for it, yeah.
I think we're still going. So
Willington, is it? Oh, I shouldn't perhaps give out the name. But there are some power stations near me that they've been there for 20 years and they haven't knocked them down for some reason, but they have been in use for 20 years. And
Painless, you up for diving them?
Maybe. Let's talk about it after the show.
But what was the story, Tony? Did you say you contacted Kelsey? Kelsey was at Western Park.
I didn't. One of my friends, Jokervision, is in the chat. He contacted her, and because she was been there before. She'd done a video of it a couple of weeks ago, and she said she's going to meet us there. So I think we're meeting her, Andy. I think Mikey Dredd was going to try to come up, but I don't think he can make it now. A couple of other people are going there, so yeah, because they're getting knocked down soon. I think the land's been sold for houses or something. So
I don't think they're being knocked down. They've been talking about knocking them down for years and years. I didn't realize they were accessible though. I guess you have to sort of work your way in there somehow. Yeah, so it'd be fun to do it. I don't know where they're 300 foot high, so you can dive down them.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. You can fly in them, over them, round them. Yeah, I've got some good stuff. It's going to be a good video, whatever. But it's like a 6-hour round trip.
That's a long way to go for one spot, isn't it?
It is, but it's getting knocked down. So
what you should do is travel that, but just bring one battery, and it'll be all or nothing pack.
Yeah, that's it.
I don't think they're getting knocked down. They've been there for 20 odd years.
Someone said, I think a guy Logs sent me a picture on Instagram saying a clip out of the paper saying,
"Oh right,
they're getting knocked down houses" or something like that. So I'm going to probably do a couple of live streams if I get 4G out there, and maybe vlog that day as well. Because it's going to be an early morning. I'm taking Junior with me, so one of the dogs.
Oh, favourite.
Yeah.
My favourite dog.
Wally's going away for the weekend, so it should be all good.
Going away.
Not forever.
Night, Wally.
Hey. No.
Whatever.
You're not back on the heroin, are you, Jack? What was that?
It's fuck's Ben. It's fine.
Wouldn't
Painless, did you
surprise me.
buy anything at Western?
Apart from a bit of heat shrink, that was about it. So,
Funny enough, that's what I bought. Oh no!
you can never have too much heat shrink, can you? You never know when you're going to need the right. I always seem to buy them in these big, like lucky dip bags that you get from eBay, and I always use the same size. So I've got all these kind of wacky, really small, bloody huge bits that only goes over at ESCs. So I actually, while I could see the sizes that I needed, I got some.
The XT60 sizes.
The XT60 size and the one down.
Yeah, that's me. I've got plenty of the one down. You should have said, but I'm all about the XT60. Poor Frank's like XT30.
What do you need, Frank? XT30 to 60?
Well, I need some way of charging some XT30 batteries.
Well, I've got 3 leads I got from Amazon for 11 quid, so you can have one if you want. It's XT60 to XT30.
What charger have you got, Andy?
I've got a few. The main one I use is the little one. That thing.
They're the best.
Yeah,
they're the best.
Otherwise I can't remember what the other one's called.
So you just need, you need an XT60 to XT30.
Yeah,
really.
Definitely.
I got 3. I'll send you one tomorrow if you give me
Thank
an address
you.
later. No worries.
Hooray. Yeah, I bought loads of stuff and then didn't buy that. I didn't think about that.
No, I did.
I've got my batteries. I can fly my baby hawk and things. And
So aside from batteries you can't use, what else did you buy? Because I keep thinking this is the if people bring their bargains out there, that's where you can find something interesting and unique. But so far we've had heat shrink, batteries I can't charge.
Yeah,
so it's going well.
Well, we spent a lot of the day chatting to a lot of people, so I think which was a good distraction because there was a lot. There was like a bring and buy which my friend runs as well, and so like there's.
I didn't see you talk to your friend. I don't believe you.
Yeah, that's because you wandered off. But yeah, no, my friend Phil runs that, and I found out they have started an FPV club in my because like Western Park's quite local to me. So that should be pretty cool. There's a club that they've started local to me. So
you got new friends. You don't need us now.
I can ditch these friends.
That's the end of Andy. I'll see you.
Bye, Andy.
Bye.
Perhaps they'll be nicer to me.
Probably.
I wouldn't bet on it.
Nah, probably not. Probably not.
Was Hobby King there because they've got new lipos out? Has anyone seen the new Puma Tiger Power or something? They're green and they're out.
We're not allowed to talk about Hobby King because Andy RC.
Oh yeah, Andy don't like them or they don't like him.
You can talk about Hobby King.
There's a new graphene out. It was supposed to be even better than the last graphene. Wasn't that good anyway, so I probably wouldn't buy it if I was you anyway. Oh man. I don't know. I'm actually buying 2 4S 2200s for my X class. So I'm going to give them a go. I'll let you know what they're like.
I've had something interesting turn up today. Do you want to have a look? Do you want me to show and tell?
Oh,
how did those biscuits do?
Oh, they were gone the same day that you bought them. I got home, and after all of that anxiety that was caused from all of the hustling in those tents that you were doing, I was like stress eating as soon as I got. Jack bought me a big packet of hobnobs. I think it was to sort of pre-warn me that it was going to be horrible to me.
Double chocolate.
They were very nice, actually, Jack. Anyways, I've got this. Can you see?
Hey!
See, trying to thingy.
No, I didn't think I was going to like it, and I picked it up and was like,
do it again. I'm presenting to everyone.
It might be.
But haven't they discontinued it? Isn't this a pointless conversation?
Yeah, it is because it is discontinued.
And what for the dodgy battery, the module bay?
There, that. Well, a guy was at a race a couple of weekends ago, and he had one, and he has got big hands. He was quite a big fella, and he said every time he used it, he twisted his hand, gripped it, and then the battery would just come unplugged, and then your quad would fall out of the sky. And he reckons that's a major fault. And
how has he done that? Because they don't twist the way that they don't twist.
Well, the way he holds it, the way he held it, he was just undoing it all the time.
You
Well,
must have a wank.
He flies like this.
I thought I wasn't gonna like it, but the way it feels really natural to hold, and it's like it's not as small as I thought it was gonna be. The throw's quite nice. The springs feel really nice, and the switches are weird though. This switch is like 3 mil long.
That's a nub.
It is.
Tiger Tom just went tape it shut. Yeah. So
Yeah, I would have had to.
I didn't know they were discontinued though. I'd be surprised if that
Is
was...
that right though? Or is that just Gearbest showing up discontinued because we haven't got any at the moment? So don't try and order them.
Maybe it was that.
I've no idea, but this has actually come as part of an RTF, funnily enough.
T9 have them down as pre-orders, so
I was going to say I'd be very surprised if they...
Maybe
It's
they've
also
changed
got-
something.
It's
on
also got an SMA connector at the top, which I didn't think it was going to have. Had
Oh.
this like blanking plate, and I thought, and then I just peeled it off, and there, I've got a SMA.
Yeah, I saw that.
thing
I'd be interested to see what if there's any range issues with the internal antenna, and then if you switch to like the 5 dB, does it suddenly ramp up massively or something?
I can't tell
right.
if Painter 360 is balls deep in that battery or he's keeping quiet for a reason.
there.
I've just figured out. So, Andy, sorry to cut across you talking about that because I actually want to hear your thoughts on that one. Because I just before I get onto the battery trauma, I've not got mine yet, and it looks like they've stopped mine going out. So I wasn't aware they've been discontinued. I was aware there was problems with supply, but I'm just wondering whether they've done a mini recall or just held off on them to. They've done like a bit of a clear view and trying to keep it all in house. I'm gonna have to chase my contacts and see if I can get hold of one. So on the battery front, I figured it out. One of the cells inside the bloody thing has gone. Which explains why I can't get it to work. So I've just ordered a new one from China, and I'll solder that in. But that was
You should have said I could have sent you one.
If you got a spare one, I might still have one because it depends what the one from China is. But I finally figured it out. But it's always good having a voltmeter. But Andy, go on, tell us a bit. So what do you think then about how do the trims work on it? Because it's the thing I'm interested in, little flying wings, and how do the trims work for the things like the elevator and aileron?
Well, I've only just received it today, but I believe the trims are done like you have to go into the menu and do it. But the thing is though, like,
does it not have like an auto trim or something?
I'm
waiting that on an FR Sky product.
I think really it's designed for quadcopter flyers, isn't it? And we don't really use trims with quadcopters. You know, we do sub trim. We get all of our centers, and then we use RC deadband. Well, I do, anyways. So I think it's aimed for the Xbox quadcopter generation, and not for flying planes and worrying about trims sort of thing. The way that it feels in the hands though is really nice, and I thought, oh, it's not going to be very good for pinchers, but it feels pretty perfect for pinchers. To me, like, you can put your 2 fingers there and pinch. I'm not a pincher, so I don't know, what it's like when it comes to the throw and stuff. But yeah,
apparently the trimmers are that plus button.
The plus button. Oh right.
Yeah, maybe that.
Possibly.
How are you supposed to trim inwards?
MG FPV is in the chat up.
Yeah,
Hello.
I guess
Hey,
you
guys.
could. I guess you could have that as this is your trim here, and then that is your trim, and you don't need throttle trim. I don't know. It's literally turned up today, and I grabbed it out of the box just to show. I haven't even looked at it, but my first impressions are like it's nicer than I thought I was gonna hate it, and so far I thought I could actually fly with this, like as in like my main transmitter, because it's just so small. So I'll see though. I'll see, because I got to convert it to. It comes with both of the sticks spring loaded.
Yeah. I was going to say about that. They give you screws to put in through the back, so you don't need to open it.
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
So
Yeah, you've got
perfect for you, dirty mode oneer.
Yeah, exactly.
Painless, you don't fly mode 1, do you?
No, no.
I didn't think so.
Oh,
You're not married to your cousin, are you?
No.
It's not a northern thing, Jack.
He's
It
not
is,
that far up
really.
north.
If you've been,
By the way, Argentina 0, Croatia 2. Just for the football fans out there.
are
No
you a
one cares.
football fan, Tony?
Not really, but if Argentina are losing, that's a good thing, isn't it?
I have no idea.
So anyway, this brings me on to Andy RC, you're northern.
Oh, right.
Right.
This is the segment where Jack finds a northern term that I've never heard of,
That's
and I have to explain
Come on,
what
Jack.
it is.
What is it?
Well, I'm getting Google ready because
Right. So what is clamming?
clamming, and that when you get a little bit warm.
No, you're northern, you tell us.
Clamming, dig or collect clams.
No, it's starving, it means. Yeah, all right, how about you close to Manchester, aren't you? You couldn't stop a pig in a gunnel.
In a gunnel.
Gunnel. Painless, you're not supposed to answer this.
Sorry, I'm
He's
just
correcting you.
Punctuation. That's all. I'm just supporting you, bud.
I don't understand this northernness. What does that mean, Andy RC?
I have no idea, Jack, because I'm not northern.
Painless. A, what does it mean? And B, what's a ginnel?
Okay, all right. So a ginnel is a small alleyway between two buildings.
Isn't that a snicket?
Exactly the same thing, but in the northern version. So if imagine somebody has bandy legs, so that they can't get their knees together.
Bandy legs.
So you know, in the old days where people had things like rickets and stuff like that.
Oh my god, this is so on.
Hey, look, you started this. I'm
like
going to
Carry on. This is good.
like a
Nothing
different
to do
language.
with drones, but it's good. Carry on.
So the whole thing was that if somebody like that couldn't get their legs together, and there's also another connotation which isn't as nice that I'm not going to go into. If they were stood in a ginnel or a snicket, if a pig ran down, they couldn't stop them because their legs were That's what it means.
Is that like the guy who drive the coach? Yeah, I know.
This is bizarrely specific. It's almost like Dirty Thunderstorm all over again with
the Spanish horse rider.
Yeah,
donkey rider. I drive the coach.
Yeah, it's the kind of thing you would say about a lady if you were questioning her virtue, that kind of thing.
Oh, Lee has such a nice way of saying things,
isn't it? Just now, Jack say it in Jack's way.
what we were saying earlier.
Look at Connie McRae's wetting himself.
Shaming Jack. Say
That don't happen. I just Google stuff, and that's what it came out with. I was like, "What the hell is that?" That's twice I broke Colin. I got his mum to
where
crack a
Jack
dirty
is no
joke.
longer allowed north of the Watford Gap.
Can I just say as well, so the original question that Jack asked me was, what is clamming? And I've just realized what Jack's done. So clamming is just like, it seems like just a normal term, except for when you search for the word clamming on Urban Dictionary, which I cannot speak out what clamming is. And that's exactly what he's done. He's stitched us all up.
That sounds like
he weren't biting. He wasn't biting.
The first, okay, I'll tell you the first sentence, right? And that's all I'm going to say. It says here that clamming is the female version of seagulling, and I'm not going to say any more than that.
Oh my god!
So was this what you got up to on Saturday night at Western Park then?
What, clamming?
Is it like teabagging?
I cannot repeat what this says, honestly. But search Urban Dictionary and clamming.
Anyway, back to Western Park.
Thanks for bringing it back.
That's all right. Someone had to.
I love this show. Sometimes.
But I mean, Jack was waiting around for on Saturday for some prop hanging by the turbines, which eventually we did see. We were waiting for it for a while. It took a few passes, but eventually it did come up into a high alpha pass and ended up in whatever the turbine equivalent of prop hanging is.
High alpha?
But it wasn't. Now, high alpha is where you're still moving, but this actually hovered, which is impressive.
They have thrust vectoring and they can sort of do 3D with them and stuff. Yeah, it's pretty awesome. Can I just say, ever since Jack mentioned the word clamming, we've increased by 10 viewers.
Well, that's gonna have to happen every week now, isn't it?
I'm gonna have to add that into the
That's word of the week.
Well, thank you to Audio Geck in the chat for actually explaining what it is, because I wasn't going to search that, because I don't want Google to then suddenly think that that's something I'm interested in.
It starts feeding you more of it. That's how it works.
Yeah, it would completely destroy all of my search history, and I'd get some really weird adverts when I was on Banggood.
Especially you being on Banggood.
Jack, yeah, that's the point. Yeah, Mrs. might have something to say about that. Jack was having a moment with Andy RC watching the fireworks, especially when I grabbed hold of him, and then the commentator said, "Jack, don't let go."
because it was Celine Dion playing, and it was Jack from the Titanic. Don't let go. I think playing.
So I know it was beautiful. And then last night I was on my big gay farm with Andy RC, and I started doing a rendition of the song, and Curry Kitten just wanted to kill himself. So
are you gonna break it out now, Jack? Have you got the MIDI song ready?
No. We'll save that for Twitch afterwards.
What was great about that is when Jack started, he started so high that when it came to the high bit, it just turned into this rope of nothingness. It didn't go any further.
We've got a few people, quite a lot of people here, asking regarding the Ishin EV200. So it says, "Hi Andy, any news on the EV200 after Kebab slated it? EV200 Ishin new goggles."
You've been promised that one for ages, haven't you?
Did you guys see Kebab's video?
Someone reported Andy RC for letting the cat out the bag 2 minutes early.
Okay, so what's happening with the EV200Ds is they have made 5 prototypes, and they have sent them out to individuals, and Kebab FPV Bob, he received the first one, and there's been some sort of I don't know about miscommunication. I think he said that he actually placed an order so that he could get a pair, and then they turned up, so he assumed that he got like a production version when actually they had sent him a prototype. So he did a video sort of bashing them, saying, "Oh, it's not ready for like customers and all this, and that there's problems with the screen." And then I think Ishin contacted him and said, "No, this is a prototype. We don't want you to make a video. We want you to tell us what the issues are." So he then took those videos down, and I should be getting one. I don't know when it's coming, but I've been told that it's not a requirement for me to make a video on it. It is to test and to report back problems and stuff and such like that. And I think that's where, of course, when someone receives something, the first thing they want to do, I'm the first one to get it, I'll make a video.
Yeah.
And you know, that wasn't what they wanted.
Are you charging them for this, Andy?
It's a good question, Tone, because I assumed the same as Bob, that I was receiving them to make a review on them, but no, it is to test them, give feedback.
Surely that's payable.
Afraid not, but that's how they get the price down of these cheap goggles. Is they send them out to people, and it just costs them the price of the unit to get the feedback. So
they should pay you.
What I would say about it though is, after we interviewed the guys at Fat Shark, and they mentioned that in order to develop a goggle, they have to order like 5,000 units of the screens and stuff. I would say to like anyone that sort of saw those initial videos, that I imagine the screen technology is probably not going to change, because so it turns out that the ones that Bob received are Alcos, so liquid crystal on silicon, which is the same technology that went into the Top Sky goggles. I don't know if Lee, did you get the Top Sky goggles?
No, I didn't. They asked me about it and I declined. But I have got a set of the EV, the EV 200s we're talking about now, the new eSheen, whatever they are. I've got a set coming here as well. So it sounds like,
have?
Yeah. So we probably need to have a chat when they're both here. Again, on the same premise that, just have a look at them and just get put them through their paces and let us know what's good and what's bad. Personally, I don't mind, going back to Tony's comment about getting charged for it. We get enough stuff sent for free that's quite good. I would rather they sent it to us and we kind of pointed out the stuff that was a bit crap, so they could fix it so that other people didn't go and waste £200 buying something that was garbage. Then them just bring it out, because too many times, and Andy, you and I talked about this, but too many times you get goggles in, and within 2 seconds of firing up, you realize they're absolute garbage, and they're still asking 200 odd quid for them. And people think that they're a good bargain because they're 100 quid less than Fat Sharks, but they give you 20% of the experience of a Fat Shark. So, you know what? If it means that I have to spend a couple of hours kind of testing them and then writing a report for them, and it saves somebody else some money, I'm quite happy to do it.
Thank you, Painless.
What's your sorry, Tony? I was interested to know what information they've given you regarding what they expect from you, as in have they said, oh, it's to make a video on it? Because I got a message last night to say don't make a video on it. Have you had the same thing?
I haven't had that explicit conversation, but in the back and forth with the guys, they have kind of said it's for evaluation, I think is the way they described it. So I'm quite lucky. I tend to get sent a lot of stuff pre-prod anyway. So people like Trappy do it with me, Fat Shark guys do it with me, Kiss guys do it as well. So there's a lot. Occasionally when I'm, Jack and I are chatting, and I say I'd love to tell you about this, but I can't tell you yet because I'm under NDA. I'm quite lucky. We tend to get get our hands on a lot of stuff being reviewers. The really nice thing is it does mean that by them sending us a free set of goggles, in inverted commas, they can get the benefit of all the experience of the other 20 sets of bloody goggles that we've messed around with. We can let them know what's good and bad. I just wish somebody could make a half decent set of goggles for less than about 150, 170 quid. Every time somebody tries to get below that price point, they just end up being next to bloody useless. And you better get in a set of box set of goggles like the Quantum Cyclops Diversity or something like that, because it's just a waste of money. Has any of you guys ever seen a set that's that kind of money that's been any good?
You say like 150 quid.
Yeah, the Ironway Commander V1s were probably the best ones, that the non-Fat Shark. They were the best non-Fat Sharks I've tried. But even then, they were knocking on the door of second-hand Fat Shark money anyway.
Well, this is it. This is what I don't know if you saw. I mean, we had. I can't remember whether I saw it in Josh's video, but we spoke to Fat Shark on here as well, and Greg basically said that all of the competitive goggles, so the Onways and the Fly Sight goggles, they are priced at the same price as the Attitude V4s, and there's a reason for that. It turns out that Fat Shark aren't making a massive margin on their products, and there's a reason why they're that price. And even though it seems like Fat Shark need to come up with some like innovation or whatever, surely there'd be loads of people coming out and beating them, beating the price, beating the quality of the product, if it was that easy to do. So clearly it's not, I think.
Yeah, I think it is. The challenge is that if you're going to spend that kind of money on a set of goggles, personally, I mean, I know Andy, you and I kind of think the same way on this one, but personally I'd rather get the Fat Sharks, and then when I break them, they'll sort them out, and usually sort them out for free, and I'm only without them for about 5 or 6 days. Yeah,
exactly the same. So you end up paying more in the long run. I've had some people, I mean, I love the Onway Commanders, and I don't use them on a daily basis, so mine are still working. But I've received a couple of messages of people saying my on-ways are broke. What should I do? And I'm like, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know where. If they were Fat Sharks, I'd say send them to. Is it Dave?
David,
yeah.
David and Randy, I think.
Yeah.
Frank's goggles sound like children screaming when he plugs them in. It's horrific.
Send them to Fat Shark.
Are they powered by damn souls? Is that how it works?
Maybe. I may have done something to them. I like put them in a
horrendous
cross with a star and a circle in the sand or something.
Oh, Frank, before I forget, lipo checker. Good man. So
what is that about?
It was a daft thing that we started a couple of weeks ago, where every time we bumped into each other, we had to say lipo checker in this strange name, and it's just stuck. And I do apologise, but I can't not have him there, particularly as I know there is a lipo checker by his side, and not do it.
Is that the secret squirrel stuff?
Don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, all right.
Yeah. Back to Western.
anytime there's like a subject that's controversial, it's like
Western.
What else did we see? I mean, there was the Cambrian Fun Fighters, which is what was going on when ground blew up.
There was a full-size Spitfire that appeared to have had the end of its wings clipped off, but sounded amazing.
Yeah, was it a Griffin rather than a Merlin or something? Because it didn't quite sound normal Spitfire-y. Maybe.
Yeah, the clip.
Why would you clip the wings off there?
Also makes it a lot easier to build, I believe.
But yeah, the clip wing had the Griffin engine in, which doesn't sound as good as the Merlin, but it's got more power.
Isn't there a Spitfire film in the cinema soon?
There is a Spitfire film in the cinema soon.
I want to go and watch that.
Yeah, it's like a documentary, isn't it?
Mm.
But it's going, it's a Spitfire documentary, but going on in the cinema. I saw an advert for it a couple of days ago. Yes, want to go see that.
Yeah, I do.
What else was there? There's the Pulse Jet. That bloody thing
makes you jump every time it starts up.
Makes such a racket. We're the other side of the whole blooming place. It's like it's a 20-minute walk away, and just all you can hear is the noise of that thing just going until it runs out of fuel. Because there's no.
It's like 10 seconds, though, isn't it?
No, this was longer than that.
Yeah. It's just so. It sounds like a northern mating call.
I thought it was someone playing raspberries over the PA.
Are they very fast? They don't seem that fast. It just seems like people that use them really want to be loud and obnoxious about it.
They're pretty fast, but they're pretty.
Oh, why hasn't Jack got one? Jock. Well, I don't mind calling him Jock. That's very Northern Jack.
I mean, I think the fastest models that are around are either Nitro with the tuned pipes that just have the single throttle, or the electric ones. There was a point there when I think we all feared for our lives.
Like, where do we hide? Because
there was
that thing was crazy.
There was a plane that had it was pitch dark, and what I thought was funny actually is all the videos of it. So there are videos of Western Park online. It looked like it was still a little bit light, but when we were there, it was pretty pitch black. And there was this, it was like, I think it was a Nitro plane that just had one throttle position. I think the video says it was going 200 miles per hour, and it was flashing. So like there was like half of the time you couldn't see it,
but you could hear it, and you could hear that it was damn close.
Yeah, and
to me, it seemed like he had, or they had got like, I was like, I haven't got enough LEDs to cover this plane. I got some red, I got some blue. That will do. And he covered half the plane, and then he flew at night and was like, oh, this is a bit of a problem. I can't really see it properly. I know, I've got some of those red and blue glasses from the comic book, and I'm just gonna fly it like that, because like half the time, like you could only see half of the plane, and it was either red or blue. twitching violently, and you just, yeah, you're right, you just couldn't see it. It had a mind of its own.
I did wonder whether the pilot had got some special just because it was so. I mean, you would not want to be in control of that thing.
No,
No.
It didn't feel like anyone was in control of it.
No.
It felt like it was just like aiming at people and then playing chicken with them.
Each time it flew past, I imagined it just smacking into me and me just being like disintegrated because it was that dangerous and fast. But yeah, I did fear for my life at that point.
Why didn't anyone like push Jack onto the boom? I would have. You're lucky I wasn't there then.
Yeah.
There was unfortunately, I mean, the fireworks show was really good. And all the planes with the fireworks on, and there was a helicopter with fireworks on, and like it was crazy. But there was meant to be 2 more planes with fireworks on. They had a bit too much fireworks on, and didn't fly very long.
They caught fire at the end.
Yeah, 3 planes stopped early because they were on fire.
But yeah, that's a sign of how mad they go with the fireworks on this particular event.
It's like, what is wrong with you?
I was quite frightened just watching the heli at night with fireworks because it was LED'd up. But if the LEDs went out, you've got like the spinning blades of death up there in the darkness that has to come down somehow.
Did they say something like they had 2 kilos of fireworks on the helicopter?
Yeah,
the fireworks.
Helicopter.
Quite a big helicopter, doesn't it, as well?
Yeah. It's like there must be. Like they must have
about this sort of thing.
Yeah, like there must be like, right, we filled it full of like explosives, and if the LEDs do go out, there's a oh dear switch that just blows it out the sky.
Maybe that's what the failsafe does. It just explodes.
Yeah.
From my experience, it's a bloke with a torch. That's how we used to deal with it back in the day.
What? No way, really?
Yeah. I mean, LEDs have just like come on so far now. We had actual light bulbs in our aircraft and glow sticks. I think I mentioned to you, we snapped glow sticks. And we'd have a guy with a big torch following us just in case.
Oh man, it's like honestly, him there. This is like a new segment. I should have introduced the segment. Back in the day with Andy RC. Back in my day, we had
I could have smacked you one when we were in that.
Oh man, me and Andy did not know where to look. We were so embarrassed. Jack just something. I tell you what happened, right? I think on the Saturday, Win was keeping Jack like in check. Like, and then something happened to Jack on the Sunday that just thought, right, I'm gonna go like completely Tom Green on everyone. He got my camera and then went into one of these tents where there were some glow engines and decided that he was going to do a segment to the camera that was the past. And he walked into this tent where there was some brand new engines. Like, I think Jack didn't realize that like the majority of the UK and RC is still flying nitro and
petrol.
So like he's like, this is the past, and pointing at these motors. And then I'm like, oh my god, me and Andy just walked slowly away from it.
No, not hanging around.
You have to kind of step sideways away when he goes off.
We did that.
So it's nothing to do with us. He's got hold of a camera for some reason, but
then filming dogs' bumholes.
I've got a lot of.
How many gigabytes of dog backsides have you got on that camera?
It was completely full of dogs winking eyes.
My favourite was like, I ran into this little Jack Russell and they were like, oh, he's really old. I was like, oh, I've got an old one as well. And they're like, what's his name? I'm like, oh, Tony. I need to have him put down soon. If he wheezes in my shoe one more time, he's getting it.
Well, I'm going to actually piss in your shoe.
Yeah. So anyway, right. We have run out of time.
I disagree, but there we go.
What? Run out of time. Oh yeah, I know. I'm terrible. No more stories of what I get up to. Embarrassing. I found the limit of Andy RC.
Oh man, my anxiety was through the roof when Jack was talking to these people, and like he was randomly introducing me to like people like
Strangers.
Belgians.
there was these guys sat on those you know, those things that
I don't know a non-dirty name for those things.
you sit on them and you gather a load of air and they like you sit on them, and there was a load of people sat on them. It turns out they were from Belgium, and Jack just starts introducing me to everyone, even though he didn't know who they were. And he's like, Andy RC wants to meet you. He's more famous than you and all this business. I'm like, and then so the only thing I could say was, I'm sorry about this guy. He keeps following me around. I don't know.
I don't know who he is.
Don't be like that.
Use that one. I don't know this guy.
That's the only thing I could come up with because I was so embarrassed. And then later, I find a thing on the SD card where he's found them again, and because they're from Belgium, he's asking them if they've got any waffles that he can have.
No, they were eating pizza, and I was outraged that they were eating pizzas and not waffles. And I was like, "Where are your waffles?"
Oh, dear.
And yeah,
So that is what it's like hanging out with Jack.
Yeah. Sorry,
it's fine.
I do apologise. Right, guys, are you up for a bit of Big Gay Farm? Over on.
No one said anything.
I did it last night, so I think
I played yesterday.
I've got some editing to do, so I think I might leave it today.
All right, cool. Well, that's it from all of us at Let's Show Now. I'd like to thank our main Patreons for supporting us, and all you guys donating that helps with hosting and editing and everything else. We've got a few of them in the chat. Tony, do you want to read them out?
MC Creations, John Harris, Bill M, Wyn Davis, Scott Watson, Richard Warwick. Painless is in the chat, but he's on the show. Taz is in the chat. Mikey Dread, I love Mikey Dread, by the way. Have I said that before? Joker's in the chat. I'm going up. Rob FPV's in the chat. John Harris.
Yep, MC
Creations, Green Patches. Who are we missing? Who's always in the chat and is not here tonight?
Tornado Girl.
She's in the chat. I've seen
Tony's mum. Hello, Tony's mum. How you doing?
She's probably watching. Hi, mum.
Sorry about the clagging. I hope you've never clagged.
So Tornado Girl's changed their name back to Tornado Girl.
Yeah, she's gone back. We like that. Steve Gladden. Love Steve. Say hi in the chat and I'll quickly call your name out. Go.
But he doesn't realise there's a 30-second delay.
He does. He's just been.
I should have been like, if Tony was there, I should have been like, if you think these engines are old, check out Tony.
Oh, God. The old jokes are getting boring now, Jack.
Well, I'll put it in the diary for next year for sure.
Yeah, I'm gonna go.
Hopefully Tony lasts that long.
Right, thank you. Whether or not to go to North Weald this weekend. That's quite a big show. I'm tempted to go, but I have a lot of other stuff.
Come tower diving.
Yeah, that's far away though.
It's getting knocked down. Won't be there for long.
Yeah, not too fast.
There are some huge shows in the UK, and I was saying to Andy, I wish that we could find a way to make FPV that spectacular, but it's the line of sight stuff. It's all visual stuff, isn't it?
Yeah.
And
it's like FPV is like 35 meg in the old days. It's like you can't have more than 4 people up at a time, else they all crash.
Yeah, it needs to be more of a spectacle. We need smoke systems, like ones that aren't just the ESCs catching fire and stuff like that, I think. And it'd be nice, I think. I didn't see any FPV stuff going on the main flight line. I think they should have organized something like that, because it did all just used to be one flight line and everyone would get their go. And I understand why they've separated it, but I think to get a bit of exposure, there's thousands of people watching, and
they'd just be dots, wouldn't they? There's dots flitting around the sky.
Yeah, that's why we need smoke systems on them and
stuff.
Yeah.
There you go,
like
Tony.
I'll be there next year flying the X-Class. Okay, there you go.
You need to pass your A and B license, though.
That is true.
Only if I go to America.
So Andy, you need to get back in touch with your bumper mates and get Tony's A and B set.
Yeah, I could do that.
Tony's got to learn how to fly line of sight, though.
I've got to learn how to write first.
I did not say that. Right, this is A. The next is B, Tony.
Oh, thank you.
Right. We've been joined by Andrew / Frank.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Andy RC.
Thanks for listening, everyone.
Painless 360.
Thanks, everyone. Good night.
Tony the Pony.
Bonjour.
Curry Kitten without the space in between.
See you later.
And I've been Jack, Bright to Life Live. Thank you guys and good night.
Peace.